What's up, creepers and kickers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? You know what? I don't have anything in my hands. Let me put a guitar in my hand. It's not going to be plugged in or anything, but if you can hear it, you can hear it. If you can't, you can't. It's just more about me having something to fidget with. While I wait for a conversation to strike. So how's everyone doing tonight? We may or may not play games. I'm set up to, but I'm kind of not feeling it. I was originally going to come on and play some games, but oh well, what are you going to do? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me set up the spooky. Let me set up the spookies. Check this fucking guy out. I got this at Five Below. Let me shut it off so you can see it. I got this at Five Below for $8. Ooh, yeah, he's gonna fucking rip your soul right out of your face hole. Let me put him back here. I'll light up my little ghosty too. I'd light up the pile of skulls, but they make noise. They go, Halloween, sucking dick, all that. Oh, you guys won't even be able to see it anyway. That's all right. I like the festivities. So how is everyone doing tonight? Is there anyone in the chat? I can't see any chitter chats, so I'm going to guess not. No agenda, open chat, and if you're fairly new here, that literally means open chat. Now, there is a specific topic that we all love so fucking much. I am willing to allow certain questions, just not the ones that, like money and all kinds of crap like that. And I'll answer them to the best of my ability if the conversation should go there. So when I say open chat, I mean it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to, answer everything. just, understand that. Understand that that's just the way it is. Got a couple of videos coming up here pretty soon. The Million Macabre. Remember the props and stuff I used to make on the channel? That's coming back. I got an art show next month, so I gotta wait until I get done with that before I do anything else creative. I got piles of shit everywhere, and try to bang out painting after painting. I think I'm gonna submit 4, but I want to get a whole bunch done, and then bring whatever I feel on that day. This one, But we'll see. That's gonna be at the old Town Line Lounge. God, I used to work there years ago as a bouncer. What is it called now? Mix 360 in Malden or something like that? I don't know. I have the poster. Oh, I should have the fucking poster over here or something. No, you know what's more important though? Right there. Alzheimer's Association. That walk is coming pretty soon. And I haven't really done much this year. And most of it is for the same reasons as laid out in my Apology Amico video, whatever that was. And I got a pretty damn good response to that, and I appreciate that. Believe me. I really do appreciate that. Let me see if I have my poster here. Where is my poster? Not that you'll be able to see it, but there we go. October 12th. There you go. If you can see it. I don't know if you can. That's my poster. I'll post it everywhere. I'll post it on my channel. I'll post it. So if you're local, come say hi. Tell me to go fuck myself. Buy a piece of my painting. You don't have to buy the whole thing, Buy a piece or a painting. Whatever. In all seriousness, though, and that tends to detract a lot of people. They think that just because they come see you, come support you at an art show, that you're expected to buy something. And I think that's what keeps people from going. Last time I did this was a year ago in October. Same show, Pancakes and Booze, or Booze and Pancakes, or whatever the fuck. One buddy showed up. One. No one from my family. None of my other friends or anything. One cat. We all know him as Mr. Obvious. Here on the channel. My buddy Alex. Well, I haven't talked to him in a little bit, man. I hope you jump in here. Hold on. Let me play. Oh, so people are fucking commenting. Oh my God. It just all popped up at once. Alex, what's going on? Loosely Collected. Hey, what's going on? Perry, is that how you say that? I apologize. I don't have my glasses either. I lost them. The Atari Game Station Pro looks like a good product. It does. It looks pretty cool. Not my cup of tea, but I dig. Loosely Collected. One of the Creep Collective. What's going on, my buddy? Just got started on my 12-hour overnight. Oh, man, that's brutal. When I worked in prisons, I remember we had to do 16 hours. Sometimes we got away with the whole 12-hour thing. You know, if I got to do like the beginning of a shift and then someone came in, you know. But more times than not, it was, oh, man. And I did a lot of overnights, and I just kind of jammed on overnights. I'm one of those cats that can do it. But anytime you get more than 8 hours or something on an overnight position, brutal. Jerome, hey, what's going on, my buddy? How are you? Obsidian, what's going on? Thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. What do we got here? We got Loosely Collected says, if I was local, I'd totally go. Yeah, dude, I don't know where all this chat shit was. I had to click on top chat or something like that, and then all of a sudden you guys all showed up. I'm over here looking at it and going, there's nobody here. Crying like a little fuck. I haven't been to an art show since back in the college days. Look up Booze and Pancakes. It's fucking wicked loose and fun. They literally just set up a bunch of plywood for you to screw your shit into. And that's it. And everyone just hangs out and has a good time. It's great. Alex Valentine with the super chat. Thank you, man. Are you man enough to eat Spam? I love Spam. What are you fucking talking about? I'll eat Spam any day of the week. My parents used to make this thing called deviled ham. I think it was with Spam. It was basically almost like an egg salad, but with Spam. But it wasn't as much mayonnaise. And it had peppers and I think onions in it, some salt and pepper, and maybe some paprika or something like that to give it a little, you know. But, oh, man. Actually, I'm going to go get some fucking Spam tomorrow now. YouTube is broken. No, it's probably me. 100% it's probably this fucking dummy. Seriously. But YouTube is broken. $13. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate that, man. What a great number. It's on me somewhere. Right there. Now it's a blur. But that's 13, not 31. It's a good time. We got a Friday the 13th coming up next month. You know, I'll do something for it. What? I don't know. But I'll do something for it. Maybe we'll continue the series in a commentary. I've done one in part 4. And the reason I did part 4 was because Ted White's passing. I forgot he was in Starman. Did you guys remember? So, if you don't know who Ted White is, he played Jason in part 4. Big cowboy guy. Played the most menacing. My favorite Jason is still Richard Brooker from part 3. But Ted White portrayed like the scariest, in my opinion, the scariest Jason. And he's in Starman. He's the hunter guy that punches Starman in the fucking face with the deer on the hood and all that stuff. And the jacket. That's fucking Ted White. I didn't know that until the other day. I was watching Red Letter Media. They were doing a list of their favorite John Carpenter. You know, in what order their favorite John Carpenter movies was, from best to worst kind of thing, or vice versa. Let's see. I got to do another 12. Loosely says overnight tomorrow too. I had to split. I had to sleep today. Oh, you thought I was in a parade in the band? You know, my kid's right now playing in a band at the football game. I chose to stay home. Fried Spam chocolate shakes are real tasty. Absolutely. And Alex, poo-poo on you. Poo-poo on you. That's yummy. Although I can't say I've had chocolate milkshake with Spam. But chocolate milkshakes and McDonald's French fries, man. You can't beat it. At least back in the day. I haven't done that in decades. Like, I'm talking 30 probably years. 30 plus years. Let me get the guitar back in my hand. Hold on 1 second. I need to get a guitar strap for it. No, you know what? This one already has a guitar strap. Just the Les Paul SL from Epiphone. Yeah, I saw that ad last night, I think. I watched it. Jerome says, wow, another Atari VCS game released. It's funny, they're like, if you don't get through it the first time, every time you die, you get stronger. As you keep getting stronger, the game gets easier. And as you keep getting easier, you win the game doing nothing but dying. It's the equivalent of a participation trophy. No, I'm just kidding. It looked interesting. It doesn't look like it's my cup of tea, but yeah. Let me tune this fucker up. Now this is going to go out of tune a few times probably while I'm just jamming here. One, new strings. And I found out the nut is binding up. And my nut files are in a place right now where I don't want to get to them. So if that was plugged in, that would sound fucking awesome. Jerome says, pedal to the metal. Absolutely. Speaking of metal, Creep it rocking. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If it wasn't 8:30 at night, I'd probably have the amp on. I should have brought it closer. That way I can keep it at a volume that this will pick up. But I didn't think enough. Oh, man. Nut file. I did say nut file. When I worked at Pocket Guitars, you need nut sauce. I do. Actually, what I need to do is replace the nut. I need to put a fucking Graphtec or something on there. A self-lubricating nut. But when I was working at Pocket Guitars, if you don't know anything about that, the Creepy Crawl, my vlog channel, we talked all about that here in the last month or two. And there was a room that I would deliver the fully assembled flies called the nut room, the nutting room. It even said it, nutting room. And of course, visions of a fucking bunch of weirdos in there snapping beans came to mind, but no, they were literally making nuts for guitars, and they, filing them, and once in a while the electronics would be a little goofy, so they bring it back to me, and I'd have to switch the board out, and those boards are pretty volatile. I don't know what the fuck the deal with them is. I say 1 out of every 5 failed, so then I ended up replacing it. It wasn't a hard thing to replace. It was just a pain in the butt, They do from the nutting room, because what they're supposed to do is they supply the nut, string it up, set it up, play it a little bit, and then it goes to the guy who buffs it up and sends it out the fucking door. And they would just come in and be like, nope, not making sound, buddy. And I'd be like, well, fuck you, man. Busy. Quit nutting. Keep nutting. Get the fuck away from me. No, they were actually really good dudes. Really good dudes. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Camaro? It's Camaro, I know. How you doing tonight? Lucy Click says, self-lube, absolutely. Let's go, brother. I may look like I'm 48, but inside I'm still 12. Dude, I was talking to a buddy of mine earlier. I hope he comes in here. I haven't seen him yet. We were talking about that very thing. He's like, yeah, I didn't get past, I'm like, I didn't get past 15, 16 maybe. What the fuck is going on with my screen? There we go. I was trying to click on something to get it up, but this is going to drive me nuts. It's funny, they advertise these as synthetic bone. Do you hear that ping? There we go. That's what I want. Fuck this guitar. I'm going to put something else on. No, again, I didn't stretch the strings enough, I guess. I don't know. And I do need to file the nut. We'll play the fucking black sheep of my family here. The guitar, I thought I was going to relive my fucking thrash glory days. I don't like Floyd Roses. I didn't like them back then. I fucking still despise them. Unless it's on like a Kramer or something like that, like from when I had when I was a kid. Bring the mic a little closer. I'll just try not to yell as much. Yeah, so that's that. Alan says, what's going on, my buddy? Remember when Denny's restaurant teamed up with Atari? Yeah, oh yeah. I had a case of the fucking placemats. I asked the dude. I straight up just said, "Look, I'm an Atari collector, and this is when I like had like a wall, an almost fucking museum quality collection of Atari hardware, and software to go with it." But I'm like, "Can I get a case of those?" And he's just like, "Yeah, here." I took a couple of the little cards, the little what do they call them, tent cards or whatever. Took a couple of those. I never did play the games, though. I never did get a chance to play the games. But yeah, that was fun. That was a really fun thing. I was surprised to see it, and I hope we do more. I remember a while back, Taco Bell released a couple. I think they were PC games, on CD-ROM or whatever the fuck it was called back then. I think they had like a Centipede one, probably Asteroids. That's always in the mix. I don't know if you had one or remember them. Let me know. But Taco Bell came out with some. Some years before that, too. What's up, R. Hernandez? What's going on, buddy? So, what, in this room? See, I don't have my glasses. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. A bunch of people had disagreements, so you walk out. I don't understand. Oh, okay, yeah. Alex with another dude. Slow down, buddy. Slow down. That's how you blow your load. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. I really do. Got a bone canut on my... Aren't they nice, bro? They just give the guitar like a chime to them, you know? But yeah, whenever you see the word synthetic bone, like what Epiphone tries to play, it's plastic with some dye in it to make it look like a bone. It's not even simulating bone. It's just... has the coloring, it's stupid. But it's a marketing thing. Retro Advisory Board, what is going on? Hashroids, yes! Yes, man, it was a great tie-in. Alex says, hope to have you review it again. Yeah, no, definitely, dude. Definitely. It was just giving me problems, so I got in a bad mood. And I concluded it just didn't want me to review it. I was playing Shine On You Crazy Diamonds earlier. I don't like... It's funny, whenever I play it, I start it from this. If you can even hear that. I don't really play the opening. I just go straight to... Love that fucking song, man. I love everything about it. I love how it sounds. I love the build up in the three stages of the opening solos and just the whole dynamics. That's the word I was looking for. The dynamics of it. And the fact that it comes back later on in the album. So fucking good. So fucking good. But you got three solos in the beginning and they all have different feels. And it almost feels like that they're kind of going into Syd Barrett's mind, because the beginning it's soft with all that. And then later on you're all... all that crap. And he just gets into it and he drops it into that bridge position and lets that pickup just snap at you. And it's almost like before he even gets to the words, he's playing out Syd Barrett. And it's, if you know the history, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you don't. I guess to sum it up is he was one of those savant creatively, and he was the driving force of Pink Floyd, but he also liked hallucinogens, and it turned out he was schizophrenic, undiagnosed for many, many, many years. And between that and his use of hallucinogens, he just disappeared here. You know, one day he just, like the song says, black holes in the sky, you know, a look in his eyes like black holes in the sky. It was just a sad thing. Like literally one day the band said, you know, let's just not pick him up. And that was it. You know, young kids, they didn't know what the fuck to do. And ironically, they were writing that album, Wish You Were Here, which is a tribute to him. Mainly, of course, Shine On You Crazy Diamonds. He showed up in the studio. They didn't recognize him as, you know, he was much heavier and his head was shaved for some reason. I don't know. But I guess he had shown up while they were recording that. And it was just like, fuck, what happened to this poor guy? And they never really came to terms with how they handled it, you know? They're young. What the fuck did they know? Let's see. The mobile game app was called Denny's Atari Remix, Alan says. Where the 2,600 game items. Okay, right on. But what about Fade to Pink Floyd? Are you trying to do like a Fade to Black? All right, I'm done. I'm done doing that and getting struck. I don't know what you mean by that, buddy. Sorry. Danny or Denny's? Hey, you know, either one. I'll eat in either. I'll eat inside of Danny, or I'll go to Denny's and eat. Are there even Denny's around anymore? White Rabbit? Ah, fuck, I forget how to play it. No, I don't remember. Good enough. Nice creep, multi-talented. Thank you, I appreciate it. I try. Can you guys even hear it? I suppose you can hear it clear enough to know that it's actually something I'm playing, right? But that's driving me nuts now. Now I'm done. I should know that. I played the hell out of that, and it's not exact either. I actually went through a phase where I was really into like psychedelic. Late 60s psychedelic rock. Bands like, you know, Blue Cheer, The Bubble Puppy. I fucking love Hot Smoke and Sassafras. Amazing album. If you've never heard it and you're kind of into that, you know, that late 60s hippie, you know, I'm not talking about in politics, I'm talking about in vibe, you know. Tune in, tune out, and drop out, or I don't know, whatever. That kind of shit. Check out The Bubble Puppy, Hot Smoke and Sassafras. Amazing album. But I was really into that kind of stuff for a while, and I'm surprised I can't remember how to play that. There was a VHS tape. If you went to any like Target or Walmart or a store like that, there was like a cardboard thing in the middle of the aisle, and it was like learn guitar in the style of. And there was a Van Halen one, a Metallica one. God, there had to have been like a Motley Crue one. But there was one that was very similar, but it was by the same people, but it was psychedelic rock. And I had it, and I fucking watched the hell out of it, and I learned all the exercise. In fact, I think that's where that came from. I think it was like a pseudo version of White Rabbit he was teaching. Because now that I'm thinking about it, it's close, but apparently that thing's fucking rare as hell. I've only seen one for sale, and I don't know anyone who's uploaded it. I check every now and again. I haven't checked in a while, but I would love to get a digital version of that, man. And if someone has the booklet that came with it uploaded to print, fuck, I'd even pay $1 for it, you know, whatever, for a PDF. You know, see, Alan says, did you know Jefferson Airplane changed their name to Jefferson Starship? Yep. Yeah, and they toured around for a little bit with Jefferson Starship. And then the chick, and I can never remember her name, she just looked at the band and said, I don't want to be, I wouldn't want to look at old people up on stage playing rock and roll. And that's when they kind of stopped after that, you know. What was her name? Alan, I know you'll be able to tell me, buddy. Loosely Collector says, the other closed due to low profits. In fact, fled in the building. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Denny's. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I guess they're all gone. We used to have Howard Johnson's around here too, Hojo's. And there was another, and when I say this, I'm talking about like the same style of food, and they were overnight coffee joints, you know. And we have another chain out here called Bickford's. But the main one I used to go to is now a fucking bank. That was a bummer. I mean, we used to get loaded and then end up in fucking Bickford's. And they had this thing called the Big Apple. It was a fucking apple pie. It was just massive. And we'd order one and just, you know, stumbling out in the fucking parking lot, puking all over the place. It was good times, man, in the late 90s. Let's see, what does Retro Advisory Board say? Everything's jumping around. Not a ton, just sneaking in the chat a little bit. Sad story about Sid. Yeah, it really was. But then again, if that hadn't happened, I would never have heard of David Gilmour, probably. And he is one of my top 3 favorite guitar players of all time, so... You know, music genius, maybe he did burn out when he needed to. You know, you never know. You never know. Creatively, the world or the cosmos or the fucking universe, God himself, whatever you subscribe to, gives you so much or whatever. And when you're done, you know. So maybe he just came out. That was their part of that prog area. And then they moved on to other things. So I don't know. Very sad story, though. Sid was he wasn't like a musician, but he was great at making music through mood and vibe. And, of course, dropping acid and fucking peyote, man. I miss mescaline. Middle albums took a heavier tone. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just listen to Animals. Listen how dark that album is. Even so much as Dark Side of the Moon has a real dark vibe to it, you know. They were starting to not dig the fame thing and... But yeah, good stuff. Grace Slick, yes, thank you, Camaro. Grace Slick. Everything I like closes down. Friendlies, Cracker Barrel. Bro, Friendlies, man, there's like a couple still around here. It's just like a half hour to get to, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Maybe 45 minutes. Where there used to be 2 in my town, and 1 over in Stoneham, and 1 in Saugus, pretty much right next to where I'm working. But it is... No, Wendy's, much like the one I was a general manager for in Woburn, Mass. It was a corporate training store. It was just before I got my first corrections job. That was the second part of the Denny's comment. Yep, I get it, bud. I'm not the brightest bulb in the batch. We should know that. You still have IHOPs. We have a few IHOPs, too, but they're not like Denny's, you know, just because they serve breakfast, you know. Denny's... Again, Big Fids and Hojo's, Howard Johnson's, they had that late night, fuck man, we're fucked up, let's go get some coffee. Or, you know, I'm bored, let's go see who's hanging out tonight, you know. That sounds weird. But, you know, when we're in our early 20s, late teens, I guess, 19, 18, sometimes you just roll up on Big Fids and, you know, 3 of your buddies would be there and the night would start, you know. You'd come up with something that you could do, or... You know, maybe we'd go down to the Incarnation parking lot, smoke a fucking doob, and toss a fucking frisbee around, which I was horrible at. But once you got a SEPA involved and we started hacky-sacking, man, I was good at that shit, believe it or not, even with a little bit of weight. I was really good at fucking SEPA. Let's see, Amigo Forever this week. Are we skipping it? I don't know. I don't know. What? Did they not have one on Wednesday? I haven't really been around to check, to be honest with you. We still have Friendlies, Retro Advisory Board says. Went to Howard Johnson's in Lake George. since closed 2020. Oh, really? So there was one open as late, if I'm reading that correctly, Retro Advisory Board. You had a Howard Johnson's open as late as 2020? That's awesome. I don't care how down it would. I would have loved to just gone in there and had a cup of coffee. You know? Pretend I was a fucking gangster or something. We had a lot of Cracker Barrels around here. We have very little. I love their ribeye. They just smother it in butter. Fat kid. Get some sleep for God's sakes. Are you talking to me? Get some sleep for God's sakes. What are we talking about here, Mr. Hernandez? Are you breaking my balls? Almost none of them are good anymore. Okay. Yeah. You know what? If you're talking about friendlies, loaded with crab and sugar, carbs and sugar, yeah. They haven't been good for a lot of time. A lot of time? What the fuck? There was a time when they were like peak, but they didn't really know what to do. I mean, they're friendlies, the model of friendlies, and I loved friendlies. I worked for them as a teenager. I managed one of their stores, and I just always seem to go back to it as a place to visit neat, but there was like this time period that they fit in, and then after that they kind of didn't. Once they got rid of the countertops, where you just sat down at a counter and had coffee and something to eat, and then you fucking took off, left the paper there for the next cat, It started trying to change into something it could never fucking be. Their ice cream, their simple melt sandwiches, a few fucking burgers, and maybe a treat here and there. Their soup, their minestrone was awesome. And a couple other things on the menu, but it was simple stuff. The quesadilla was really cool. The mozzarella sticks, And once they venture outside of that shit, they started becoming something they couldn't become. And they just seem to either hire... I want to be very careful how I word this, because I worked for Friendly's many years. And I know people who are still employed by them. And if anyone watching here is employed by them, I don't want you to get offended. But it seems like the staff can't handle the menu anymore. And maybe it's because the kitchen's so outdated. It was a struggle when I was there. They wanted to introduce, and they did, rotisserie chicken and these huge, thick pork chops. They wanted to up the, the prestige of the menu, I guess. And I remember thinking, this is going to be a fucking... They gave me this huge machine with the chickens and the fucking things for the meat. And I'm like, where am I supposed to put all this stuff? I can make burgers and fries here. What the fuck do you think this place is supposed to be? And they just kept doing it. And then they introduced like shrimp dinners and then they break it down to they just can't keep up, They should have just stuck with what they were good at, but got better at it. You know what I mean? And made it a little more modern. But they're stuck in that time frame, the 70s and the 80s, maybe even the 60s too. And they can't venture outside of that. And that is where things are fucked up. But in any Friendlies I've ever been to since the 2000s started, they all took forever to get the food. Half the time it was fucking burned or wrong. And you can't ever get anyone's attention. Just getting a seat, it's a nightmare. Because they're always packed. And there's shit thrown all over the place. And they were always messy. And I don't know what it is. Alex, thank you, my sweet and tender. I love you, my man. You have a good evening, my friend. Thanks for always hanging out, man. You're a really good dude. Thank you. I lost my thing here. Okay. Friendlies used to mix the soda. Yeah. When I first started working there, their soda jerk still worked. But that's how I made like the root beer floats and and all this stuff. We had these cooler, the almost like a lime Ricky thing, but it was like an orange cooler they made with sherbet. Another thing, the Fisherman Jig was my favorite sandwich. I would get it on wheat bread. Yep, Jerome, you're 100% right. Panera Bread is a great restaurant. I have one around the corner for me, but there's something keeping me from going there. You got the last, oh man, a Retro Advisory Board. Yeah, I guess the last one was, Yeah. Sad that it's nice to see that they lasted the 2020 Hojos, but yeah. But the mixed soda. Let me tell you a little dirty secret about Friendlies and the Fribble, okay? When I was a young man and when I worked at Friendlies and when I used to patronize it as a little kid, the Fribbles were made out of this shit called ice milk. It wasn't frozen milk. There was something in it to keep it soft enough to scoop. But it wasn't ice cream. We used to challenge ourselves to see how much we could eat it before going, because it was god-awful. But once you put the syrup in it, that's when the flavors. It's almost like, what is that soda water that's real tart? But once you mix it with drinks, it's better. Tonic. They call it tonic water, not soda water. So Fribbles actually didn't have flavored, scoopable whatever, material, ice cream or whatever you want to call it. It was a plain, flavorless ice milk. And that's what gave it its wicked thick consistency. And the flavors came from shots of, syrup. And that's why you could only, for the longest time, get vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and coffee. Or mocha, or a black and white with the vanilla and the chocolate. But because they didn't make it with ice cream, and there was only the 4 flavor syrups, I used to get a strawberry one and then chop up a small banana and throw it in there while it mixes. Good shit. Good shit. But then they moved over to having soft serve out of nowhere, and that failed. It was actually really good. But they ended up using that for the Fribbles. And now they call Fribble anything that has ice cream and milk in it. So, it's stupid shit like that. Fribble was like their signature thing, and they fucked with it. Get out of here with that. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Fishamajig, yep. Damn fat fingers. That's all right, man. Milk carton 01. I count 1 pumpkins. Where do I have a pumpkin? Oh, I got this guy. Yeah, he's a pumpkin skeleton. Oh, and I also have my Michael Myers one here, if you can see it. It's from the original Halloween title card. Well, it's not from that. That one's long gone. I carved that one out of a pumpkin. Horace, how are you? Are you a fan of Metal Jesus? I'm not a fan, and I am not a fan. Yeah, I watched him. Yeah, I used to watch him quite a bit. Not so much anymore. In fact, I want to watch one of his more recent videos. It's a collection of his 2600, an update on it. And it's interesting. I've been saying this all week. It's interesting that the 2600 is now like a topic again. It's coming back. I'm seeing all my buddies talking about it out of nowhere. I'm seeing Metal Jesus and all the fucking people because of the 2600 Plus and the Game Station Pro and all that stuff. And it's good to see. It's really good to see. But yeah, no, I dig him. He's pretty cool. I believe I chatted with him once. It was John there, the Gamester 81, who I think hooked me up with talking to him about something. God, this was almost a decade ago. We were hosting Retro Nights, and this is when I was in Arizona, at this place called the Gaming Zone in Tempe. One of the first places I saw had a lounge for video gaming, And we were good friends, and like our circle hung out basically from this store. It was like the hub. And John, he was local. So he came in and checked out Retro Night one night, and I think it was on his birthday too. The dude was fucking loaded. He was loaded, but we did. We chatted about the Atom system more than anything because I have fond memories of playing both Coleco and Atom, and that's his jam, But I think I was asking him about something, and he's like, Metal Jesus would know the answer to that, and somehow I ended up talking to him. But yeah, Metal Jesus Rocks is pretty cool. I actually have a little skull that I painted, a ceramic skull. That, you remember the red and black skull that he used to use? I don't know if he still does or not. It kind of looked like that. Maybe subconsciously I did that. I don't know. I still have it somewhere around here. Maybe I should send it to him, as a goof. But yeah, I'm a fan of his, I guess. I watch him once in a while, not religiously. All right, so let's see. Oh, I got to go back a little bit. Okay. Keep the melts, raise the prize. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. The melt sandwiches were great. You know what was great? And you know what? You guys can say whatever the fuck you want because you know me. I don't give a shit. I'm a fan of veal. I don't eat it that often. One, because I don't have veal money. And two, I mean, there is some conscious thing to it, you know. But before everyone was harping about where it came from and all that, we made a veal palm melt sandwich. And I loved it on the rye that we had. We had this really, it was just a real snappy rye. It let your mouth know something was there, right? And then all the press around how horrible in creating it is. Friendlies took it off their menu, and we had these 2 cases. My boss is just like, you know what? I'll sell you the sandwich it cost. And then after we got through a case, which took me about 3 or 4 months, he just take that other case home, get it the fuck out of here. So I was eating Friendlies veal parm fucking sandwiches for like 2 months. And I didn't complain. I mean, it hurt my gut, but you know, it is what it is. Loosely Collector said we had a small local place. It was real tiny in town. The root beer bar. Oh man, sounds good already. And they had the root beer sodas on tap. And yeah, the soda jerk. It's interesting. It's not like going to a soda fountain, you know what I mean? A modern day one. It's a different jam altogether. And if you do it wrong, it's going everywhere. Fribbles were my favorite. They fucked up. Did you know that Fribbles were actually called Awful Awfuls? But Newport Creamery down in Rhode Island actually coined that. And it's the exact same beverage, at least back then, the ice milk and flavored. So Friendlies got sued and had to come up with the word fribble. They made it up. They made it up after stealing someone else's fucking sandwich. Typical Friendlies, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Just do your own thing, man. Jerome says, I was high one time. No kidding, huh? I am right now. So, it is what it is. Knocked over my full fribble. I thought you were going to say you knocked over a bank or something. I'm going to be like, you're fucking hardcore, Jerome. Worst day ever. I don't know if that would be my worst day ever, but that would be a pretty shitty. What was the flavor? That's the difference. If we're talking about chocolate or vanilla, okay. But if you start going into coffee or even strawberry, then maybe it's pretty close to one of the worst days of your life. Mr. Shaw, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Hey, how the heck are we? We are well. We are very well, man. Thank you. I hope you are as well. Camaro says, what happened to Metal Jesus? I never see him around anymore. I don't know. Does he just not produce much content anymore? I don't get notifications because, again, I don't watch him enough for YouTube to say, hey, once in a while I'll get like his 2600 collection update. It's like 277 games or something like that. I gotta count mine. I think I'm at like 150 or something like that. Most I think I've ever had was about 300 at one time when I was in Arizona. I had a lot of games, man. I had a whole game room with this fucking huge shelf I got for 50 cents, lighting and gorgeous shit. Maybe we'll talk about that someday. I still get the pictures and everything, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Try eating spit extreme heat. Would you say it's hotter than, say, the one chip challenge? A million scolds. See, I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what Scovilles are the you know. I know what it is, but when you say 1 million versus 8 million, I don't know. Obviously, 8's more than 1. But I don't know if, in comparison, I'm guessing somewhere in the middle, it's a pretty fucked up pepper. It's pretty evil for the bum. Because I know the one chip challenge fucked up my stomach for about 2 weeks. I did that for you guys for getting me to 2,000 on the Alzheimer's Association. Click the link down below. Do not give it to me in Super Chat. I want the money to go directly to Alzheimer's. I'm slacking this year, guys. I don't even think I have $500. We got to get on this. The fucking walk is next month. All my fault. All 100% my fault. Just this past year's health stuff. I haven't had the energy for really anything, honestly. But we're getting there, and I really do want to do a really big year next year. But I don't know. Lucy Clicker says, back to work. I'll check in a bit. All right, man. If you hear this, thank you for coming in, man. You're a good dude. Thank you for being a member of the Creep Collective. I don't do much for you guys. I will. There's videos on there that people see, like when I do the Amico ones, they see it the day before. Or there's a couple of videos I made that none of you guys have seen, if you're not a member. And they're still members only. It's a really funny, what system is that? Oh, Jaguar. When I was setting up the Jaguar flash cart thing, the EverDrive, I don't know what you call it. I still have it, but I don't have a Jaguar anymore. There was something I thought was a game. So I'm sitting there waiting for the game to start. It was a fucking music video. I looked like a fucking idiot. So that's up there if you want to be a fucking member. That's fine. I don't care. Either way. I miss friendlies. I do too, man. I miss them. Mick Lovin, what's going on? Yeah, I kind of figured he was still making videos. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the algorithm's just not liking what he's putting out and we're not getting the notifications or whatever. Again, I don't watch him enough to where, unless it's a topic that YouTube knows I've been, playing around with. I don't think I would have gotten anything from him if he wasn't talking about the 2600, but all right, cool. Confirmed. Still making videos. Alan says, try eating the toe of Satan lollipop. It's 9 million Scovilles heat units. That just sounds like fucking trouble, bro. Jerome says, strawberry. Dude, yeah. Worst day of your life, absolutely. Next to me saying I do. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I still love my ex-wife. I fucked that one up. Mecca, I can't see it all because my glasses are gone. I prefer Atari to stay under the radar for a bit longer. And you know what? Yeah, I'm totally with you 100%. And that's one of the things I've been talking about for years, saying that as much as I would love for them to get the respect, it's nice being able to go out there and buy things for next to nothing, really, and still having a good time with it, If you look, you can get any 2600 variant for the most part. I mean, official. 20, 25, 30 bucks at best. Sometimes you'll get that one cat that thinks because it's old they're going to sell it. I see it all the time. $150, rare Atari game system. And it's a Dusty 4 switch, and it has like fucking Pac-Man, 3 copies of fucking Combat, and some random game you never thought he would have because they weren't like into it, like, I don't know. Worm War 2 or something like that. Worm War 1, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50. I don't want the prices to go up, but I would like it to be more of a thing, I don't know how else to say it. I guess because I've been in the circles long enough, I'm happy where I'm at with it. So, I don't know. But I'm with you. I'm just going to call you Mech, okay? That's all I can really see is the MEHCHA. I don't know. I am going to be getting new glasses here. I got an appointment, so. I don't know what happened. I think I left them on top of my fucking car. Wow, there's a lot of shit to get through here. Then the waitress was nice enough to bring me another one. And I split that one. Oh, you spilled that one too? What the fuck? Oh, poo-poo on you, my friend. The first one? Oh, that sucks, but fool me twice. Yo. Frivolous lawsuit. McLovin says, Jesus made an Atari video the other day. Yeah, we were just talking about that. That's probably the only reason I got notification. Thanks for the chat. No, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming in, Hernandez. I really appreciate it. Mel Jesus Rock is still making YouTube videos. Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew he was, but physical cartridges. Okay, yep. Mr. Shush says, I feel like since the announcement of the Atari has brought Atari Age, we're seeing 2600 games coming out the wazoo. Yeah, probably. And it's weird how fucking history is kind of repeating itself. You have a company that could move forward, okay? They've proven themselves. This new iteration of Atari, however you want to look at it. As much shit as I talked back during the VCS fucking debacle, still think that's a stupid fucking name. They should have stuck with Atari box or something, you know? I'm actually pretty excited to see what they do, you know? I mean, I may not play half the games that they advertise, but it's nice seeing that name on stuff that people are actually playing and excited about. But much like back in the day, they're focusing on the 2600, I think, a little too. I think right now, yes, with the 50th anniversary and everything, that's great. This Atari 2600 Plus, which, guys, come on, it's really a 7800 with 2600 capabilities. You never go forwards compatibility. It's just in a 2600 shell. And it's an emulation box anyway, but I really wish they would go forward and actually do like forward things, you know? I get it, and I do want this Atari 2600 Plus. I really do. I want it. And hopefully when I get back to full-time work, I'll grab one, but yeah, I don't want them to keep looking back, you know? It's great. Show the respect for the stuff. And there's things like the Lynx and the Jaguar, and in a lot of cases, 5200 that hasn't seen the light of day, you know, as much as some of the other stuff. The 8-bit computer line, you know? It'd be nice to see some of that getting some representation, more so, I should say. And then moving forward into their own thing, whether they develop a piece of hardware, which is not practical. It's not practical. I don't know. I just want them to move forward. I want them to go fucking that way. Enough with over here, all right? I have my fucking heavy sixer. I have a couple of 4 switches. I got my Veda. I have my fucking Retron. I have my 7800 over here with painter's tape on it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. Forward. North, Miss Tessmucker. North. What movie is that from? All right, back to the chat, because there's a lot here. I get notifications from... Oh, cool, Alan. Awesome. He must talk about shit that you are into. Brian F. says, Metal Jesus has slowed down. Okay. Yeah, and that's probably why I'm not, you know. Let's see. Ben Hacks, YouTubers. Your Atari synth. He's good at the... Okay, so going back to the contact Ben Hack, huh? I didn't even think of that. I call him Ben Hack. All right, I know that's not his name. That's actually not a bad idea. Well, maybe it is his name. I thought it was Ben Hack or Ben Hack. I call him Ben Hack, and I can barely see what it says. It's literally, I can see it just enough to know who you're talking about, but it's like a white blur. It's fucked up. They should have kept Atari box. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, it represents what it is. It's a computer system, you know. But yeah, come on. Atari is killing it. I agree with you, Jerome. I agree. I love all the homebrew stuff coming out on the VCS. I do too. Again, I've been part-time, like 20 hours or under, going back into work since my, you know, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I'm easing myself back in. I actually might be moving on from there. I might be moving on from there for better money. I'll take the balance. I go there. I used to go there to balance myself. It was a great environment for me. So I took less pay to be there because of the environment, and I was happy there, and I was enjoying what I was doing. But nah, I gotta grow up a little bit and move on. But hopefully, once I get that all worked out, I'm gonna get me the 2600 plus. I definitely want the paddle box. Maybe I'll contact him and be like, "Can you gave me games for free once? Can I have those too to review?" But I doubt it. What do I got? I got 2,000 so many, you know. They ain't gonna fucking hook me up. But in the Berserk, if I were to buy them today, it would be the console, the paddle fucking setup, and the Berserk, and then eventually, you know, other things too. But yeah, I'm really happy that Atari is doing, you know, the stuffs to make the things happen. Mex says the VCS store had a couple of Atari age homebrews. Okay, right on. I dig that approach to getting these homebrew games into more hands. And if they're fucking smart, they'll continue to do that as long as it doesn't infringe on licenses. that they don't own, which is what the first step they took when acquiring Atari H. So, let's see. I now have 12 Atari 7800 cartridges. Can't wait for the 2600 plus. Yeah, right on, man. What games you got? I actually have a broken cartridge here to my right, 7800. Robotron. It's got a little bit of a history. Oh, I think I was supposed to send that to Alex. Who was I supposed to send that to? I don't know. I held out and never got my Retron 77. However, I'm glad I did. I want a 2600 plus. Oh, you're glad that you okay, yeah, rad, man. You know what? If you go back to my early, I have a whole playlist on the Retron. I did not have a good experience with it when it first came out. My buddy got one and didn't like it or whatever and sent it to me. And one of the, the cartridge port pins were broken. So they replaced it. And the controller snapped, and sometimes the controller wouldn't go left, sometimes it wouldn't go up. It didn't matter what controller. I did a whole video about it. And I got like emotional about it. 'Cause I'm like, I thought it was going to help get the kids involved in it. Which it was, because they were playing Asteroids with me and having a great time. But every time we would try something else, it would just be fucked up, and the kids just said, fuck it, So I got, like, pissed off, and I'm like, I just want a convenient way to play my games, like the Nintendoids and the fucking Segas. I mean, I love Sega Genesis, greatest console of all time. But, out of nowhere, my shit just, I never updated the firmware. Just out of nowhere, it just started playing ball. And then I got that Ranger controller. I gotta pull that thing back out. I can't find my small TV with an HDMI hookup. So I can play games right here. Fuck. I put it somewhere. When my mom passed away, she had a TV in her bedroom. And that's what's in our bedroom now. And the other TV that we had, the one I was using before, like a couple months ago, that doesn't have an HDMI input. It's too old, but oh, well, whatever. Jerome says he loves his Retron. Do you have the wood grain one or the orange one? I really dig the orange one. Should I get the Atari 2600 Plus? Kurt says, what are the differences from the original, the perks of the Plus? The perks of the Plus is it plays 7800 as well. And it's an HDMI setup. Those are really the only perks in my mind, Kirk. I would prefer to have a 7800 to play both 26 and 7800. Because I don't mind hooking my shit up in weird ways to get it to work. But I'm going to get one so it can be plugged into the TV right here in the living room. Or if I find that little HDMI one, I can eventually get a box and play it properly. But as far as should you buy one, that's up to you, man. I don't know. I don't know what your vibe is. So I say, yeah, I'm going to get one when I can. I'm absolutely going to get one. But the only perks is it's more convenient to hook up to a TV today. And aside from the 2600, it plays 7800 games too as well. And it could be expandable, You might be able to load ROMs on it. Which I am not against, especially these games are fucking 40, 30 years old now. Whatever. Alright, let's see. I have a decent 2600 collection. Yeah, absolutely. Hard to beat the look of the 2600 Plus. You know what? You're right. And again, I've been saying it. I know why they chose the 2600. But it's got 7800 capabilities. Why not like a merge of the two? Or I know if they try to sell a small 7800 shell, it wouldn't sell as well. Didn't mean to rhyme that. Hence the first flashback leading into the second one. But, excuse me. It is a pretty looking little system. I will admit that. And the flashback that has the actual switches instead of those stupid gumball fucking buttons. I do want one of those too. Was it the 10? The 10? Ben Heckstrom is... Oh, fuck, I jumped. His name. Okay, so it's Heck, not Hack. I call him Heck because, it's fun. It's like a play on hell. The Ben Heck Show. I found him when he made that portable Atari 2600. Actually, when he revamped it. The first time he went into it again. I have both the Retron 77 orange and wood grain. Oh, I would totally love to put fucking purple lights inside the orange one. Nice Halloween console, you know? Maybe even paint a jack-o'-lantern on it. I fucking love to do shit like that. A handful of games don't work on the... Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not having the entire library work, you know? Because, again, aside from us, the average person who might buy this as an impulse thing is not going to have many cartridges. And if they do buy it to relive their, you know, whatever, they're going to seek out the games they remember. You know, the common ones, the Asteroids, the Adventure, Frogger, and you know, whatever. They're not going to be looking for the games like Super Cobra. Maybe they would, but you know what I'm talking about. For the most part, the impulse purchase people, they're not going to be looking at, like, I don't know, does Hero work on it? I don't think so, or was it untested? And I remember something about Pitfall 2 not working. I don't, again, correct me, but that's just my take on it anyway. Hopefully the Trooper and the Ranger controllers work on the 2600 Plus. I don't see why they wouldn't. They have the same, what do they call it, matrix output or whatever. They should. They work vice versa on my real equipment versus my Retron 77. So that'd be cool. McLovin says, the Atari 2600 homebrews. I played Judo first. Is so fucking good. Super Cobra Arcade. I haven't played it. I'm not really into that scramble Super Cobra type of gameplay. It's fun, but for me, it just kind of fizzles out real quick. Colony 7. I don't know if I'm familiar with that. I'm going to write that down right now. Because if it was ever on Atari Age, it might be in my list. Because I got my ROM list from them. And if not, maybe I can seek it out if it's good enough. Colony 7. C-O. Cool. Colony 7. The only true homebrew Atari game I own, which we should get to here. I just keep forgetting it's over here, guys. I'm sorry. Catacombs of Chaos. This was given to me by my buddy Johnny, who was actually really good friends with John Hancock. And I don't know if this was a gift to him to be, and then you know, it's signed by him. And it's got the little instructions and everything. I don't even know what this game looks like. I've never seen gameplay of it, nor do I care to, because I want to be surprised. All I need to know is if it's a joystick or a paddle. And I'm going to guess with an adventure guy on there, I'm not going to be using a paddle. So maybe we'll get to this here pretty soon. Hopefully it works on the Retron 77. I don't know if it would or not, but that's really the only homebrew I own on Atari. I own a couple for the Intellivision, the Sequest. I can't remember what it's called, but their version of that. Fucking amazing game. And I got a copy of Jawbreaker, but it didn't work. And they were both given to me from a gentleman over on Atari Age. In the early days of the Amico stuff. You know, I was over on Atari Age because people were asking me to come over there, and I just can't stay there long. It's just overwhelming to me. But that individual reached out and said, hey, Chris, look at this list of games. If any sparks your interest, you know, I could send you a few for review. And they sent me those, and I felt bad that the Jawbreaker didn't work, and I couldn't get a review of it. So I kept trying to send it back to him to maybe fix it and sell it somewhere else, or whatever he's got to do to it. And I can't remember who it was. And I can't thank him enough because that Sequest copy, or homebrew for the Intellivision, is awesome. The music can get a little annoying. They had actual rock songs. It's pretty cool, but I keep hitting a button to bring the music back, and it just fucks with me, and I hate that. But overall, I do have a review of it. It's a really great game. I just can't remember the name of it. All you Intellivision cats probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Spout it out in the comments if you haven't already. Let's see, Mr. Shaw says, and did they say the 2600 will have updates so it does not work on launch? Don't count it out. Anything like this is going to have that kind of thing these days, right? It's about getting into the stores, and we'll worry about it later. It's sad, but as long as they can fix whatever the fucking bugs are, I'm good. I guess I'm good. Just don't fucking charge me for it. About the analog Mega SG, wow, that's... I would love to have something like that, but I don't collect cartridges other than pre-NES. I had a great Genesis collection before I moved back to Boston. Again, my favorite console of all time. I do have my Model 1, and I have a flash cart in there, and it has Genesis, Mega Drive. I think it has Game Gear games in it, and SG-1000 in those games, you know. Very Coleco in style, very, very nice looking, great playing games. And once in a great while, I'll pull that out. I used to have a really cool custom Genesis that looked like the Necronomicon. I called it the Necronomicon console. I actually made it. It was one of my Halloween specials on this channel. I didn't like the video. The video's garbage. But it is what it is, right? The eyes lit up red with these 10 millimeter LEDs. Another buddy of mine helped me out with that project. So, I don't know. But, you know, yeah, you're right. It's all emulation, so updates could fix all kinds of things. There's nothing hardware going on, you know. Isn't it just like an emulator, and it sucks the ROM in there and says, okay, I can read this. And off it goes. I don't know. Calling 7 is great. It's similar to Missile Command and Atlantis. Okay, cool. You know what? Dirty little secret. I'm not a big fan of Atlantis. I never really was. And not because I don't think it's a good game. I just never played it, so I don't really have that nostalgia bite to play it. It is a fun game. I just never think to play it, you know. Let's see, what do we got here? Jerome says, awesome. Ben Heck. Address is on his website. Search Ben Heck. Oh, so should I just send it all with just a picture of what I want and be like, can we do this, please? We'll help each other out. Cross, you know. We'll do a cross video between our two fucking channels because I'm somebody. And I don't know what I would contribute besides saying thank you and making music from it. I write him a fucking song. But Atari did say, okay, yeah. So we're there. So I'm going to read the last few of these comments and I'm going to sign out because I think the girls are going to be home soon. And I'll be honest with you, I just don't want to stream with the three of them. Because, you know, like one of them is just like their mother. Oh, as a matter of fact, here we go. There's a message from them. And final score, 41-14, we win. And that was, oh my God, 45 minutes ago. So they'll be home anytime soon. Immortal John Hancock, yeah, absolutely. I have Catacombs on the new VCS. It's cool. All right, cool. Maybe I'll pop that out. How do you donate to the Alzheimer's Association? Down below. One of the very first links, my friend, is a link to the Alzheimer's Association. It's my account through them, but everything you give will go directly to them. I don't see a dime of it. I just get the accolades, you know. Hey, you know. But if you would, Kurt, man, thank you. I really appreciate it. Any amount is before we used to pimp this out. I used to get like $2-3 grand. I haven't for the last 2 years. I haven't been well, but we'll get there. Thank you for asking, regardless if you don't donate or sharing the link. If anyone can't donate, I'm rad. I only work 20 hours a week. You know, I get it. Sharing the link helps equally as much because sometimes there are people that, you know, I don't know them. But they're like, you know what, yeah, I'm going to throw a few. I've gotten so many random donations and thank yous from people I have no idea who they are. But they got the link through one of you folks. And God, I mean, it's wonderful the support I get from this. Have you ever played Atari for the 2600? Yes. The same guy who sent me this actually made me a repro of that and Halloween. And I have them over there. Know it's good to look for? Look for a homebrew called Halloween 2. It's a Keystone Caper a hack. But instead of being this big, you know, the big cop, they actually take Pitfall Harry, a smaller character, and they put him in a trench coat, and you're basically Loomis chasing after Michael Myers. And instead of like, you know, shopping carts, it's like fucking gurneys from the hospital. Great hack. I did a video on it one Halloween. Great stuff. Let's see, stream more Atari and television. I will. I actually was originally going to play tonight. I got the controller and everything, but I just wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in the mood, you know. Awesome. Thanks for your support for this. My family has had this awful. I'm sorry to hear that, man. And that's one thing that sucks about doing this. The stories. Every year I meet new people with the same, which I guess goes to the importance of it, at least for me, you know. Every 55 to 60 seconds, someone comes down with it. Not diagnosed, but they're afflicted with the ailment. It's disgusting. And to watch, in my case, the rock of your family turn into a fucking bubbling, garbling piece of garbage. Literally. It's fucking tough. It was really tough. But yeah, loosely clicked. It's like, okay, I'm back. Well, we're fucking leaving, bro. Where you been? No, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. Well, I am leaving, but I appreciate you coming back in, man. I know you're at work. That sounds wicked awesome. Yeah, it really. Thanks for your support and all that stuff. Okay, cool. Guys, I'm all caught up. And before the ladies get here, I just do want to say goodbye. Thanks for chatting with us tonight. And now that I have this in front of my face, I'm going to leave it right here. And one way or another, we're going to play it. I got my 7800 right there. I'm sure it'll fit in there just fine. And we'll get it going. Loosely, we'll be back. Don't you worry, my friend. Folks, thank you always so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. Wherever in the world you are, I hope you're fucking doing well. Until next time, take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. I get to go to work tomorrow, which I like.